Tonight in this video, I'm going to show you something that's just starting to pop up on my radar because I'm seeing it more and more in hospitals, which is kind of weird, airports, and a lot of public spaces, especially where you can't take your little whoopies outside to do the do.
I met him on a sunny day in late July, and everything turned upside down. I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I told him I want that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. And tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other. Didn't wanna let you go. Cause we wanted different things, and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy. So tell me how to let go, cause you really seem to know how to carry on your own.
What's up, everybody? This is Corey Dixon with Smart Plumbing Engineering, and I'm here today and I'm in a pet relief room. Now, I've been struggling to try to figure out what kind of content I'm going to make for my channel. I don't want to be too dry, I don't want to be too technical, but at times I do want to get into the details for certain topics. And I've made tons of videos. I kid you not, I've made tons of videos, and when I watch them back, they're just not coming off the way I envisioned them in my head. So this one is going to be just a typical vlog. You know, I'm thinking that when I'm walking spaces, public spaces, hospitals, whatever, if I have permission to record, I'm going to record. And this is a public space, so I'm in the St. Louis Lambert International Airport. And I happen to be walking to try to find a restroom. If you notice, it's been a very long day. Started off in New York. I've been in New York all week. I had a meeting with the Port Authority. And now I'm trying to get back to Houston because tomorrow I'm supposed to be in Atlanta. So it goes from New York to St. Louis to Houston to Atlanta, then back to Houston, then back to New York. It's just crazy. I really am loving my life right now because there's never a dull moment. You can see it in my eyes. I've been stressed out all week. There's never a dull moment when you're a plumbing engineer. So especially at HOK, PSP, Gensler doesn't have an engineering department. SOM, any of these companies where they have architects and engineers.
Southwest Flight 6549 with service to Wichita. We have boarded here at gate 31. I am looking for passenger and...
I'm not Wichita, but I just want to make sure that she wasn't going to say my name. You never know with Southwest. I'm flying Southwest. So anyway, I happened to stumble across this room, and I think that it's pretty interesting. This is a pet relief room, and I'm starting to see these rooms in more and more spaces. Hospitals, airports, malls, tons of public spaces have started to delegate a relief area inside the building for comfort animals, and it's just amazing how far we've come with this one. This one it looks pretty new, right? This room looks pretty new. It's a typical pet relief room. Since you may not see these very often, but I'm telling you right now, in a typical pet relief room, you will have one spigot on the wall, and you have to always, whenever you do a hose like this, you have to have a backflow preventer to protect the building's water supply, because that hose can be left on the ground and you don't want anything to get sucked back up into the water supply and contaminate the water supply at any of the restaurants or anywhere inside this facility. This is a major international airport, and yeah, you really want to be particular about that. So, and that's basic plumbing design if you're a plumbing engineer. Now, inside this room, typically there's an area for the animals to relieve themselves, and there's always a stainless steel drain inside that space. You know, typically it's stainless steel because, you know, it airs cleanliness, like the stainless steel backing around the wall for all the splashing when you wash down the floor, right? This is typically for like the pet owners to wash up behind their pets, fits on the wall, but I can guarantee you most of the time they're probably walking here and that's on the floor, and that's just the way it is. Now, typically there's a drain out here, and there's a lavatory, right? Or a sink of some sort for somebody to wash their hands after they finish picking up the doggy poop and putting it in the trash. Now, here's the kicker. These rooms, since they're becoming more and more common, you know, each authority having jurisdiction that have taken on the responsibility of dictating what goes in this room. Depending on where you are, it could be different things. Like typically in the last couple that I've been in, the room is about this size, right? But then in this area, there's another room on through here. Like there's a doorway to a janitor's closet. The reason for that janitor's closet is because if you're gonna be in here, you're gonna be mopping up and cleaning up poop with a mop. You don't wanna take that foul water outside of this room because it's gonna smell. There's a chance that it could be used somewhere else. You just don't wanna risk that. So what happens is most airports will put a janitor's closet inside the room. There's a door, typically. This one doesn't have a door, but if you stand over here, you can hear the exhaust fan running. So they have good airflow coming into this room and through the exhaust. And this is also at the very end of a corridor. And typically, most people wouldn't come down here other than to use the restroom. And they're expecting orders in that case, right? So that's just the way that these guys did it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm telling you, these rooms can get very elaborate. The last one I did had a typical mop sink, and inside there was, I don't know, a hose reel, and the door was right here, and everything was under negative pressure. It's kind of weird to see this stuff the way that different airports do it, and it could be all in timing because these things have continued to progress. So this may have been an early one, and then, you know, it progressed to where we are today to keep smells from bellowing out of this room. If you're doing one of these rooms in a hospital, typically what will happen is, look, this is crazy. Typically what will happen is there'll be a door, but the room will be under negative pressure. And when I say negative pressure, I mean, if you open the door, you can feel the air coming from out in the corridor into the room to prevent anything, any kind of contaminant from bellowing out of this room and maybe affecting somebody with a compromised immune system. Now, I can't do anything about the noise. I just thought, you know, I saw something interesting, so I'm saying something interesting to you guys. I think these rooms have come a long way, and the more and more I see them, I really do appreciate when owners take the time to dedicate valuable space to something like this. It really, you know, if I was traveling with an animal and I needed to leave them, this space makes me feel a lot better. I don't have to try to take the pet outside to do their business. I can do it all behind security, and I don't have to worry about any kind of problems. And typically, I'm a very respectful person, so whenever I use a space like this, I clean it up. It's just that simple. But most people, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody's raised differently. So some people don't clean up behind themselves, but this room is very clean. And, you know, I'm just very impressed by how the St. Louis airport system is maintaining their spaces. I haven't been in any bathrooms yet because there's a line at all the restaurants right now because all the flights are delayed. Can you believe that? So I'm gonna go back to my gate. I really have to get something to eat, but I want to take a quick moment and just share this little room with you. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do that right now. I know the videos have been very slow, but that's gonna pick up. I've made tons of videos. The problem is because this is tied to my professional career, I can't just release any kind of video, especially when it's a very technical video. I don't want my videos to be too dry. I don't want them to be too technical. I want them to be light, and I want anybody to be able to tune in and just quickly get an understanding of what I'm talking about. So anyway, this is Corey Dixon signing out. I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in. Ciao.